Okay, here we go. XR 650L. It's a 2021 model. It's a great bike. I love it. This is CRF 300L. It's a 23 model, the one I just bought. It's a great bike. I love it. This is my CRF. It's a 2016 CRF 250L, which I bought last year, and I just love it. All right, 3 Hondas. 1, 2, 3. The things all Hondas seem like to have, and I had to do the same thing to all 3 of these Hondas. Number 1, I put risers on the handlebars because I got to have risers. Okay. Okay, and the thing of it is, because Honda set these things up for a person that's average height, which is 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", like that. I'm 6 foot tall. They're a little low for me. That's all on me. Another thing, and here's something, anytime you buy a Honda, or you buy a used one, and the story, I'm going to tell you a little story about the CRF there, 250. When I bought it, I had a hard time getting it to change gears. Sometimes whenever you was downshifting, it wouldn't go all the way down. And I thought, well, what the hell? And I think that was the reason why the guy traded it in. And I thought, well, you know, I didn't notice it until after I bought it, because I actually didn't write it, I just bought it. And after I got home, I noticed that. Well, then I got looking, got to checking, and for some reason, Honda will make your clutch adjustment. Can you see how much that lever moves? They make them where right there is where you start disengaging your clutch. That's full disengage. I like mine where right there is my clutch starts disengages. So when it's there, it's fully disengaged, okay? And the reason why I do that, it's a twofold. One is I like to have 2 fingers on the clutch, and my other 2 fingers and my thumb wrapped around the handlebars with a full grip. That way, if I do experience some bar whip, it doesn't pull the handlebars out of my hands. Okay, and anyway, on the CRF 250L, after I adjust that, it goes to gear just fine, shifts just fine, don't have any trouble with it. I think what was happening is the way they had it set up, the cable actually stretched a little bit, which they will over time, and I think it wasn't fully disengaging, which would make it hard to shift gears or hard to find neutral, okay? So that's just a little tip for you. Set it up the way you want it. That's why I set mine up. It works for me. I don't have any trouble with any of my bikes going in gear or shifting or finding neutral. They all work great. Okay, I did raise the idle on the 650 because the 650, whenever you was running a low RPM, it kind of had just a little chug to it, and it's like, you was either on the throttle or off the throttle, and I didn't like that, so I raised the idle speed on it just a little bit. Okay, on the CRF 300L, it done the same thing. And I'm for a better name, which I don't know what you want to call it, I'm going to call it throttle response, okay? And the throttle response of this machine was just a little bit sluggish. Every time I'd go, whenever I'd let off, like go and stop or something like this, or just downshift, grab another gear, it seemed like it just had a lag between going again and when I was slowing down. So what I did, I'm gonna try to show you this. This is my throttle, okay? Now look how much play I have in my throttle. I have very little. I took that out. Why? Because what happens is down here on your cables, see your cables? And that top cable, if you see it, is what works your throttle. See, I have very little play in it. See that? Very, very little. And I took that out. So now I don't have that lag. On the one on the CRF 250, I guess somebody had already done that. Or I might adjust, hell, I don't know. But I take the slop out. I did the same thing with the 650, and I raised the idle on 650. And this is what's called a throttle body. This is not true fuel injection. This is what's called a throttle body. There's a sensor in there, and that's how your brain, your ECU unit, knows how much gas to put in. It's all governed by that sensor that's inside this throttle body. Okay, and so somebody said something about, well, you can't raise the idle on them because of the ECU unit. Well, it's all controlled. Like I said, this is your throttle body. Okay, it's all controlled by your throttle body. And down, if you look down below there at the bottom, right here, there's a screw. And what you do, it's like a set screw, okay? And there's got a nut. You loosen that nut, you tighten it in just a little bit. You can raise your RPMs 100, 200 RPMs, whatever you want to, and it doesn't change anything on your ECU unit because it's a throttle body with it's called a throttle control sensor, okay? So the computer don't know how that got raised, and it don't care. It changes nothing, okay? You understand what I'm saying? So you can raise the idle that way just a little bit. And one thing I did notice about Hondas, for some reason, they all come, when you buy them, they all come and they're low RPMs, or they're have low idle speed. And I think the reason why they do that is for EPA. They have to meet certain standards for EPA, which is a crock of horseshit. But anyway, and if it's at a low idle, then it's putting out less pollutant. So I think that's how they skim through the EPA. And of course they got all that other garbage on there, which does nothing. But anyway, but that's just my opinion, and opinions like assholes, everybody's got one. But I just wanted to kind of show you that on the Hondas. And like I said, every one of my clutches, I readjusted them, and I took a slop out of all my, see, you hear on CRF, it has no play in it at all, just very, very little. And that's what I'm saying. That's how you can get rid of that. That's the two ways you can get rid of that low end lag. You can take the slop out of your cables, and you can raise the idle slightly. Okay, so that's two ways you can do that. I would raise, if I was going to do it, I would raise my idle first, and then take the slop out of my cables. Because if you take the slop out of your cables, then raise your idle, you're actually moving the position of that throttle body, and you might put more slop back into your cable. So I would do the idle first, just raise it slightly, and then I'd take the slop out of my cables. That's what I do on my Hondas. I love Hondas. I've rode Hondas for many years, and the newer ones, after they, like I said, especially with fuel injection, seem like they're just a little more tedious. But hey, they're bulletproof and I love them. So anyway, my XR650L is carbureted, and I love it, and I ride it when I just want to be out there and just be almost worry-free, because I don't have to worry about raining, none of this crap. The only thing it could ever possibly short out would be the CDI unit, and hopefully it's covered good enough I don't have to worry about it. These others with electronic carburetors or electronic ignitions, all stuff, it's different, but I love them. I don't like the chip, but hey, sometimes you got to give it. You give a little, get a little. So I like the 650 when I just want to get out there and just purely awesome, not a care in the world. If I want to get out there and do a little bit of road cruising and be able to do some off-roading, I take my new 300L. It's a great bike, I love it. If I want to get more into the dirt, I take the CRF 250. Okay. If I'm out there and I'm just putting around there, not in no hurry, and I got nothing to do, I take the XT 250, because that bike there, even with that little gas tank, gets fantastic gas mileage. It's only a 5-speed, but I love it. It's just great for getting out there and just riding carefree. Of course, my Tanner Ray is my road bike, and so I have 5 different bikes for 5 different purposes, 5 different moods, okay? That's why if you own more than one bike, you're golden. But anyway, get back to the Hondas. That's the problems I found with the Hondas. It's not really a problem. It's just an adjustment. And it ain't no big deal. It's Mach Nix. Somebody asked me about the stickers on my tank. Mine's sticking pretty good. I've got one little spot that's coming up on the other side. I don't know whether super glue would hold that or not. I'll try it and see. And then I was wondering if a person gets some like a clear lacquer paint or something put on it. I don't know. I'd hate to do that because it'd make the whole tank look like it was, I don't know. That's what happened. Anyway, there's my 5 bikes. Love them all. Ride them all. Each one's got a purpose, and it just depends on the mood I'm in and what I'm doing and what I want to do at the time. So that's kind of what it is. Love them all, and that's why when I bought this 300L, I didn't trade in my 250. I thought, you know what, the 250 actually is geared a little bit lower than the 300. The 300 is more roadworthy because it will run at higher speeds. The 250 with that pipe on there, it makes a little bit of noise, and it's just pure old fun. Oh, another thing about the Hondas. I want to show you something. On the Honda, especially on the new 300Ls. Hey, look at that tachometer. The reason why I brought that up, it says it's idling at 2,000 RPMs. Bullshit. No, it's not. No, it's not. I think they did that. I think that was another one of those EPA things. Because they might have a certain thing, like at certain RPMs, it has to put out this much pollution or something like this. So if they jack the RPM range up on that thing, and drop the idle speed down there, it looks like it's running 2,000 RPMs, but it might only be running 1,000. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a game. But anyway, well, these are my bikes, and like I said, love every one of them. And there's everything is 11,000 miles. There's 12,000 miles. That here's got 6. This here's got a 300 now, and this here's got 8. So, and I ride them all. But anyway, that's my shed. That's my bikes. Hopefully, the tip I gave you, because one of my viewers said he just bought a used 250 Rally, and he said it had a slow throttle response. Well, that'd be the 2 things I'd look at. I would raise the idle slightly, and then I'd take the slop out of my cable, and I almost guarantee you that will take the hesitation of your throttle out. And all you gotta do is go out there and just twist your knob. See that? Very little movement. That's the way you want them, because why would you want to have to take slop out each time? It's like that's just so. Every one of them. See, that near's tight. That's good and tight. That's good. But anyway, hopefully that'll help. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, hey, ride safe, ride free.